August 15th. I should tell you that August 15 is relevant also to people of Greek descent like myself, because it's a very big cultural holiday. And so it is kind of interesting that August 15 happens to be also a celebration of many other things that happens in places like Greece, for example. And since I mentioned that, I should mention close ties that exist between the ancient civilizations of Greece and India, and what a wonderful impact they had in the world in shaping culture, in shaping independent thought, in shaping research and inquiry as well. I should mention, and many of you may not know that, but USC President Hubbard, who was the president of USC in the late 70s, was a US ambassador to India. So USC has strong ties with India through that way as well. And as you know, Mayor Garcetti of Los Angeles is, if confirmed, will be the next ambassador of the United States to India. That will be another voice of Los Angeles in India, and we look very much forward to partnering with Mayor Garcetti when he becomes the US ambassador in India to further expand the ties that the university like USC has with India. I should mention that the School of Engineering, the Viterbi School, has a great presence there. With we have a big board in Bangalore. I mentioned that I visit often. Our board in Bangalore has many good friends of the school, such as many of the former founders of Infosys, for instance, as well as IOCON CEO Kiran Majumdar-Shaw is on our board. So we treasure very much the connection we have with India. I wish I was able to meet all of you in person. I know that we will have the opportunity to meet with a number of you on campus starting Monday, tomorrow. And so I will be happy to, I'm going to the campus pretty much every day since May of 2020. And so I will be more than happy and available to meet with you again and have an in-person meeting. That would be wonderful. So I just want to stop here and wanted to thank you again for inviting me. Congratulations on celebrating this important milestone. And we cannot have a better partner in some way in as we move our mission forward than the wonderful, talented, and very inspiring Indian students. So thank you again and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dean. And again, I think most of us did not know about the significance of this day apart from the Indian independence. So it was a great insight. Let's move ahead with Professor Sati. Professor, I think you have some slides which you want to share, right?
Yes, I do.
Definitely. So I'll stop sharing my screen and you can take it ahead.
Cool. Hi, everybody. Welcome to USC and happy Independence Day. I'm going to share my screen. Let me see. Okay. Cool. So we probably might play the national anthem, but check this out. Very cool. So I put this up on Facebook and a lot of people comment on things like these. So I'm going to just go here. This takes just a few seconds, all right? I'm not going to play the whole thing. Listen. There we go. Very nice. You know, every country has a national anthem, and I must say the Indian national anthem is one of the most beautiful in the world. You don't have to take it from Indians, take it from other people who have their own, and they comment on how beautiful this is. So that's actually very cool right there. So I have a few things to tell you as well. bit.ly/AIST. Hey, look at this. Okay. So I'm going to give you some, what is called advice, and it's up to you to do what you want with it. So look, we actually let you in, right? You guys are no USC students. OMG, how did that happen? And then now that it happened, what am I supposed to do? So I'm going to start by telling you welcome in all possible languages in the world. Salam. Okay, so everybody welcome. And look, so my advice is unsolicited. As you know, it's the best kind. It means take it or leave it. It's free, right? So how valuable free advice can be. Okay, so my first advice is don't take too much advice from other people. There's a little meta going on there. So my very first advice is pretty obvious. Your main number one reason to actually come to USC to a master's is to study, all right? In other words, you're here to get an education. There's so many other things you could possibly be doing with your time, but you need to study. And look, you study, it's a form of dying, right? But we all do it. And if you think your studying is so bad, look at Chinese students. So Chinese students have a university exam called Gakai, and it's the nationwide entrance exam for all their tough universities. And look at that, OMG, right? You just fall asleep basically in the middle of all your pile of papers. So studying is not just for you, it's not happening just to you, it's for everybody. And then there's so much of things that we have to know in the world. It's wonderful. And universities are pretty interesting places because freshmen and even you guys bring so much knowledge in. And then when you leave, you don't take too much away from you. So we keep all your knowledge, okay? It's a joke. So knowledge accumulates in the university. See, look, just in through one side and out through the other. So please don't be that way. Retain as much as you can. And studying, by the way, does not mean what you might think it is. It actually means getting an education, okay? So what is education? It is what survives when what has been learned has been forgotten. So I teach you a database classes. After 10 years, I ask you database concepts. What you remember then is what you actually learned, not the slides that you memorized. So to put it differently, stop memorizing things, because if you memorize a definition, so can Google. Alexa can tell you. So it's actually useless, okay? So you need to be beyond like what the bots know, and that beyond is what we call education. So you can go through this afterwards, but there's a difference between just simply studying, which is all about regurgitating. Like we tell you something, you swallow it, and then you puke it out. So please don't do that, okay? Instead, think and then connect that to things you already know so you can use it for your future. If you do it like that, studying is actually a lot of fun. I mean, why would you not study, right? There's so much to know. So that is definitely your focus. Your focus is to learn. And definitely don't be stupid more. Please don't do that. And then when we tell you nerd jokes, see, be rational, get real. And then I should have put E there that says, the world is all trains and gentlemen. So when we say those kinds of jokes, you need to laugh because see, look, that's what I do in class. Okay, so far so good. Uh-oh, wrong slide. Change the topic. All right, so you need to work a lot because the word homework has work in it. It's fascinating because you look at it all day long, right? Don't do it. But that's actually a bad thing. Because look, there's a fun little prayer that you can say the previous night before the exam. But prayers won't save you. Only studying will actually save you. So definitely study. And you see, there's no need to be the sharp pencil in the world. Nobody cares that you're a sharp pencil. Instead, how much you learn, how much you work hard is seen here in these blunt pencils. So it is actually okay to be blunt because it shows that you put in your hard work. Yeah, sharpness doesn't count. And also in the world of success, how do you get there? There's no elevator that takes you. It's step by step by step. This is the only thing that ever works, okay? If there is a secret in life for success, here it is. If you do this, it is guaranteed to work. It's not guaranteed to work. You'll fall. Or the elevator might never start. So no shortcuts, okay? Uh-oh. So this is weird as well. Change it. Okay, this is a big one because it is human tendency to actually stay at work and not do it. And social media, the internet, the web, your phone gives you so many opportunities not to do your work, but it's a very bad idea because deadlines are like a wall, okay? So you're over here. You're slowly progressing towards the wall, whether you want it or not. You will get to the wall. So don't wait till the last minute because you'll never finish. Most of our homeworks are long in the sense that you cannot do it the night before. So absolutely don't procrastinate. And also focus is good. Like I said, turn off all your distractions and try and be like a sharp laser beam, not be a spork. A spork is multitasking, right? So you're doing multiple things. So that doesn't work. The brain is meant to do one thing at a time. This is a very big one and it's quite serious. You cannot plagiarize. You cannot take somebody else's homework, term paper, exam answers, and turn it in as your own. If you do it, we'll report you. And then the best thing that can happen is you're going to get a 0 for your exam or your homework. It's going to lower your grade. The worst thing is you might get an F in your course. Even worse, if you keep doing it in multiple courses, then you will actually be expelled. So please don't go this route at all. It's actually very bad. See, look, do not plagiarize. See, it's the Coke logo, right? So the whole world knows it's a Coke logo. So you don't get any prize for doing this. Pick a different font, pick a different color, then it's not plagiarism. So please do not plagiarize. This is pretty funny, but it's only funny. Grand Theft Auto. Okay, so this is again over and over. We actually have an organization at USC. It's called SJAX. Their only job is to investigate student plagiarism when professors report it. So you would have to go in front of them and argue that you did not plagiarize. So the best way is not to do it. Okay, and now on to some more positive things. So this is your chance in life to actually grow as a person. So do your own thing if possible. And this is also a secret in life. When everybody goes one way, you can go the other way. That's actually a good thing. You can be unique, all right, to do that. And so grow in many ways. At the same time, always retain your childlike innocence, your core. You don't have to fully grow up. The world of grown-ups is completely boring. So if you want to have fun as a grown-up, still be a little kid, okay, to a certain extent, absolutely. So this is what we learned, okay? So study, but you know what that means. And work hard and don't put things off. Focus and absolutely don't cheat. And then do your own thing, but don't fully grow up. Easy, right? Pretty obvious. So remember that. Keep calm and carry on. Check this out. SC. SC stands for many things. You didn't know. Cool. And if you want to go back to this, it is AIS-Satish. You can play this game all day long. Check this out. Cool. And then I'm going to finish by this little piece of JavaScript amusement. Check this out. We can stop, okay? Okay. JavaScript is a cool programming language, just so you know. Look. Ooh. Start. Cool. So can someone tell me what ragam this is, or what rag in Hindustani music? It's actually an Indian rag. In Carnatic music, the rag's name starts with the letter M, and in Hindustani music starts with the letter B. Anybody? Go and chat and you can type it.
Sure.
What rag? Okay, I'll tell you. Good guess, Bhairavi. It has the letter P in it. B-H-O-O-P? Bhupali, okay, or Mohanam. Okay, check it out. Cool. So with that, I'm going to stop because we're like right back to where we are. So once again, welcome you guys. Okay, so see some of you in class. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Professor. Advice, I mean, when we were attending our session in the spring batch, the advice were really helpful for the 2 semesters. At least for me, I'm pretty sure everybody will feel the same once the semester is over. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we have Yadi with us, student advisor.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll just take a quick 10 minutes. I'll start sharing my screen too.
Sure, I'll just stop sharing.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Yadi from the VASE office. If you had a chance to attend our orientation, the new student welcome. So VASE office stands for Vitruvian Mission and Student Engagement. We're here serving all students from all the engineering school from all departments. So I'd like to welcome you everyone here, and also very happy celebrating the Independence Day with you all here. For me, I'll just take a very limited time. I just want to kind of a little bit reiterate some really important information we hope our new students to know before you get started of the journey. So first of all, we know maybe you might have received a lot of communications, updates, information from everyone from the university, from us, from your departments, from your professors. So I kind of wanted to still again lay it out to see kind of whose responsibilities and probably is whom you should reach out to ask first, like to get your answers first, quickly and possible. In your academic department, and mostly with your curriculum, your course, your degree requirements, your core courses, your electives, and if you're thinking of change of major, the best way is to reach out to your academic department first. So not the base office, not us. Those questions will be the best way to reach out to your academic department advisors. And definitely our professors, as we have our professors here, our faculty members, they are great mentors, they are great resources. Please definitely meet our professors, make use of the office hour times and TA times, your discussion times. In addition to that, and your course requirements, your grading things, any emergencies happens to you during the class time, the semester, please reach out to our faculties and then your advisors too. So in our office, mostly for our international students services, any consultation you need, any process questions you have, and we serve our probation students, so we can guide you through and kind of hold your hands through the process, and then definitely any emergency things. But also we'd like to say, like our Dean Carigolis would like to say, we are your home away from home here. So if there's anything like you don't know where to go to ask, and we can be your first stop. So we may not be your one stop for everything, but we can be your first stop for your questions too. In addition that we work very closely with OIS, the Office of International Services. So that's why we can kind of answer and consult a lot of things for your international student status and things around it too. But definitely if you need to travel, you need travel signature questions about your status, about your I-20, the fastest and the best way is to reach out to OIS first. So I hope this helps. And then definitely for international students here, only for international students here. If you are in the US, definitely remember to finish the PPV process, remove your hold, and maintain your status. Master students at least 8 units, doctoral students at least 6 units for your full-time status. If you have questions for reduced course load, please ask us in the VASE office. And then students, if you're taking classes outside of the US because you have travel issues or visa issues, if you cannot arrive, then OIS does allow you to leave the hold temporarily for you and then for you to register in classes. But because you're outside of the US, you don't have an activated I-20, so you can enroll just 1 or 2 classes, and then there's not much restrictions around your immigration status here. All right, just some quick FAQs so far we've got from students, so I want to kind of just to present here. For PPV, like I mentioned, but for students, if you're arriving later after the starting date, maybe ways to have students who are planning to travel here after the August 23rd, after the program start date, class start date. OIS, they can temporarily leave it for you for 10 days for you to register in the classes, and then just for you to register in and catch up with your coursework. But definitely please remember to complete your PPV, complete that process after you physically arrive here in the US. Yeah. And students, some students, maybe you're registering, you have a short window for you to register in classes, remove the hold and pay the fees, pay tuitions, things like that. Our office, the financial services office, they do have some leniency around that. So maybe you can email your reason, kind of lay out your timeline, your reason, and your USC ID to the USC cashier's office. So maybe they can waive those late fees for you. Late fees after the August 20th, it could be $100 per week. So if you didn't register or you didn't pay off after the August 20th, you could assess maybe some late fees. But if you have your timeline, your good reasoning, definitely you can email our USC cashier's office. Maybe they can waive that for you. For some students, if you have questions for which course to register, how to register in your online classes, we definitely ask you to ask your department advisors. So not at VASE here with us. We definitely want you to consult with your department advisors first for this. Okay, so I think that's so much for me now here. At the base office, we do have our online advising, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night, Pacific time here. And also that's our email there. Yeah, thank you everyone and happy Independence Day. I look forward to meeting you on campus too.
Thank you so much, Yadi. Do we have some time for any questions if people might have on the chat?
Yeah, if students
Definitely.
have questions.
So guys, if you have any question, please write on the chat. We can take a few minutes and get them sorted right now.
Or definitely come to our online advising sessions and then the emails can too. Yeah.
One question which I see is when can they start applying for D clearance?
Yeah, so that's actually a question to your department advisors. I'm sure right now you have the emails from your advisors, so definitely please email that to your advisors. Every department has different timeline and policies around the declarance. Yeah.
Perfect. So I'll just give a follow-up. So Sanket says the time is 16, the date is 16th August. So if I'm not wrong, at night 12 o'clock or in the morning after 10, you can start applying for D clearance, Sanket. Perfect. So let me, if there are no other questions, let me quickly share the screen. And we have Bat with us with some great stories to share. Before that, yes, Bhavesh, D clearance is mostly first come, first serve. Yari, please correct me if I'm not wrong. If I'm wrong, sorry.
I think that still depends on the department too.
Department
Yeah.
to department. Okay. Hello, Bat. All up to you now.
All right. Thank you for inviting me to the orientation. I've been doing this for, I think, at least 15 years at this point. Hello, everyone. I'm Bharatwaj Nandakumar. People call me Pat. I started my education at USC back in 2006 fall. So it's quite a while back. So if you ask anything about courses, I might not know that much about it. I graduated in December 2007 and then joined Activision and then worked there for almost 12 years. And then I moved exactly during the pandemic. So if you want stories on that, I can give you some insights on that. And then now I'm working as a lead engineer at Retro Studios, which is one of the one of the only first party studios of Nintendo, working on some cool games. In general, before we start, like I know I can see a lot of people here. How many of you are in the country, or how many of you are in India? Any raise of hands or icons? So anybody who is in the country, raise your hand, because I want to know, because a lot of the things which I'm going to mention is going to be more catered to that, but it will still be useful. Okay, a lot of hands raising. All right, so that means you went through this amazing journey of quarantine and all sorts of flight and transitions and stuff. Okay, that's awesome. All right, everybody can bring your hands down. So what I'm going to do today is that I'm going to talk about some of the things which I have seen over these years. And now that I'm not in LA, like fortunately, these Zoom calls kind of help me join this. So yes, you can proceed, Ayush. You're going to be my clicker. So let's go. And as you can see, it's a pandemic edition. So as mentioned before, I'm a video game developer by profession. So if any of you are in computer science, interested in gaming or love games or want to play games, I'm the person for that. I'm the advisor for AIS and HSO, which is the Hindu Student Organization. I've been there I've been helping them for a while. Now that I'm out of LA, I'm still trying to stay in touch, but I'm not really physically present. I'm also an industry mentor at the USC Game Pipe Lab. In fact, I studied at USC, like took a few courses in the USC Game Pipe Lab when it was even originated. Like it started in 2005. I joined in 2006. And then I was also involved in some of the interfaith and interreligious work at LA. So next. So, I mean, we've kind of crossed 25 years. So I thought I would give you a story. So when I came here on campus, the first introduction for me was the small board, which said AIS on the freeway. If you have taken the shuttle, it shows that board. And then I was like, for a second, I thought, oh, like I didn't know that AIS was that big. Just in the future, probably a year or so later, when I started driving, that's when I realized that that board, which says AIS, actually means Accident Investigation Site and not Association of Indian Students. So that's a fun fact. Next. And then this was the first, when I joined, like this was the first Independence Day event. And this was the board, out of which like a couple of people were not even part of the board. They were volunteers, they were PhD students helping them out. I'm still in touch with a lot of them. One of them actually has a startup in LA. One of them is a professor in sunny Buffalo. And then other people are in like all sorts of really good positions. So this is me 15 years back, or probably more than that. And then we eventually, this was our first career presentation. So we had a career event where we were, and this was at the peak of recession. So we as a AIS alumni, we came together to kind of talk about like resume building and how to apply for jobs and answer all those questions. So this was me from that time. Next. And then this was a special moment. This was back in 2009, where Develop India 2020 organization kind of reached out to us, and we organized an event with APJ Abdul Kalam within 2 days. So it was 2 days of like mad scramble trying to get a building. It was a weekday, security, all sorts of things, but no other organization could have pulled it off other than AIS. So this was that special moment where we were actually handing off a picture of the board to Dr. Abdul Kalam, and then eventually he was so good that he wanted to take pictures with everyone. In fact, we have the entire board, together with him. So next. And then there was a point of time where in spring where we wanted to play some cricket, and we were like, okay, how do we organize it? What do we want to do? USC actually has a Trojan Cricket Club, which kind of plays in Cromwell Stadium. But we were like, we wanted to organize like a mini event during spring break because everything is closed at that time. So we actually played box cricket with a group of people, right next to the alumni building. So next. And then this was also a special event. This was in 2012 when India won the World Cup. We actually did the World Cup streaming, and we had, this was like 2 or 3 a.m. Pacific time, and it was like 900 people filled into this ballroom at GCC, RTCC, and awesome stuff. And this is Dean Varun Soni, like he was all excited, bringing his trumpet and supporting India. We actually had, the best part of it is that during that World Cup streaming, we actually had like, this was the finals. So we actually had both Indian supporters as well as Sri Lankan supporters. So anytime Sangakkara hit a 4, like somebody will run around with the Sri Lankan flag. And then when India gets a wicket, like everybody, it was just like madness. There's actually some video recordings of it, which I can actually share to everyone once my talk is done. We've done events like this. We have fun fair, getting people engaged in other activities, trying to get people together. None of it you can get at the moment because of the pandemic, but sorry to make you jealous. Next. And then there was a moment where the AIS board kind of organized an event to kind of like thank some of the alumni who've been working with them for a really long time. Each of them, again, like some of them are in LA, some of them have gone back to India and stuff. This was like a special moment for us. Next. And then, with all the effort from the team and the alumni, AI has actually won the Tommy Award for the best cultural organization in 2014, 2015, which was awesome. Next. And then this was 2014 when we actually celebrated 20 years. And this is again something which I have in my wardrobe, my showpiece, because it's so close to my heart. In fact, I might have a mug too here somewhere. I'll find it. Next. So anyhow, just like what Professor Raghvachari mentioned, advice is good and it's free, but you still have to take your decisions and own up to it. Please ensure that you don't rely on someone's words and blindly go with it. This has happened because when people kind of talk about, like, at different points of time where they talk about, like, oh, data science is the new cool thing. Everybody, I've joined MS in electrical, and I'm now going to specialize in data science. Like, don't do any of that. If you wanted to do electrical, do electrical. Some people will say electrical has lesser jobs, computer science has more jobs and stuff like that. Don't, like, make your own decision. Like, people can give you all the advice, but prepare for it. Next. And then just as Professor Raghvachari mentioned, don't give any room for plagiarism. Especially now that we are all working in a remote environment, it makes it even more difficult, and even more easy to plagiarize. And watch out for stuff. I've known students who kind of took something from a wiki page and put it in their answer without referring to the wiki page as a source of the article, and they've got an F grade on it because they've not cited their references. So copying something from wiki is also plagiarism, if you did not realize. And then networking helps. Talk to everyone, talk to a lot of people, talk to your seniors in AIS. That will really help out. But at the same time, like, if you're asking a bunch of questions, just be respectful of their time, because and when you message them and when you ask them, especially in this remote environment, it gets really, really crazy. Next. And then roommates, I hope you figured out your roommates and stuff, but make sure that you are talking with them. Make sure that you have clear-cut budgets and constraints on what it should be. We've actually, when I was with my roommates, like, we came up with, like, really different methods to kind of manage our budget. We had a box which had the common budget, which for our common expenses. We had stuff which so that if something is personal for someone, then they would kind of deal with it separately and stuff. So just be aware of it, including washing the dishes and cooking and stuff like that. Next. And this is very important. Like, make sure that your roommates have the contact information of your parents. I've had cases where roommates don't share this information, and then eventually they get injured or they fall somewhere, and then now the other roommates have no idea, like, who to reach out to for help, right? Similarly, like, plan your monthly expenses, and most important of all, if you have any problems or any kind of, like, concerns, talk with them. Don't kind of, like, don't be passive aggressive and stuff like that. Like, talk to everyone, like, talk and resolve, because you need to resolve stuff because you're going to live with that roommate for a year at least. Next.
Just to add, I think this was the most important point from all personal experience of staying alone in hostels and stuff. Trust me, this is the most important point.
Yeah, don't be afraid that you do something wrong and your roommates are going to call your parents and inform them about it, kind of thing. But in general, like, it's extremely important because they are your family away from home. And then otherwise you'll end up being like this guy, where you don't like your roommate. You like your roommate only when he's not there in the room. Next. Safety, DPS has an amazing person called Viru Valencia. I don't want to give any spoilers and stuff, but he's your best friend, or in general, DPS is your best friend. If you're walking from your housing to campus, always watch your surroundings. Don't wear any expensive stuff. Don't showcase your new iPhone or new headphones or whatever. I've had known a lot of students who keep their apartment doors unlocked because they were lazy enough to not duplicate their keys and hand it off to their roommates. And in those situations, I've also seen their passports and other important documents being stolen. Always remember, if you leave your apartment door unlocked, you are risking not just your belongings, but also your roommates. And I've known people who have lost a whole bunch of things. So you don't want that. And then the last most important point, the Indian driver license is not valid for you to drive as a driving license in the US. It's valid only for like, I think 7 days or 30 days. You might have to check your DMV website for it. So all you need to do is you need to go, there is a written test, which is like 30 questions or something. You need to score like whatever, some like less than 6 mistakes or something. You take your written test, you get that cleared, and when you get it cleared and you take it to the person to give that answer sheet, when they are printing your temporary license, if you show your Indian license, you actually get something called a temporary permit, which is almost like your driver's license. So you take that and then you practice, driving alone, because if you get your temporary permit, you don't need, it's almost like a license. And then you train yourself, and then you get the behind the wheels test and get the license. If you're not into driving, you don't want a driving, please get a California state ID, which is again at the DMV office. It costs like $30 or something, so that you don't need to carry your passport around for ID proof. Next. Other stuff, very, very important. Generally, most people don't talk about this, but especially in the last few years, I've seen people really get into bad health. So I just want to share a few things on that front. One is there are too many labels. In India, you have the red, green, purple, whatever those indications for vegetarian versus non-vegetarian stuff. Here they have a lot of different things. So watch out for these. Next. This particular image looks like a really amazing, it's milk, right? You go to a store, you look at this product, and you get this product. Now, if you're a vegetarian and you have this milk, you are no longer vegetarian, because next, when you click on that, when you look at the ingredients, you would see that it's actually milk with refined fish oil and vitamin D3, right? So don't trust anything just by the title of the product. The same thing applies to a lot of other things, which I'm going to talk about. Always watch out for ingredients, because your ingredients could be way different between any of these different products. Next. There's also one of the things which you need to know is that here, generally the milk, we don't have too many kinds of milks in India, but here there is like grass fed and grain fed. Most of the cows here are fed grains and not grass, because they need meat. So milk is kind of a byproduct for it. So watch out for that, because the taste will be different. For some people, if they have different kinds of milk, it would upset their stomach, even though they are not lactose intolerant. And a lot of this kind of accounts to these things. So watch out for what you have. Next. Next. Yeah, and then similarly, if you go to a grocery store here, you will find that all the fruits and veggies look really shiny and like, almost like you can take it and keep it in a showpiece kind of thing. Just realize that a lot of the food produced could be GMO food. And at the same time, they also use some kind of wax to make sure that it can last for longer. But the key thing is that, anything which is shiny does not mean that it's healthy. So just again, watch out for it. If possible, try to get organic, but organic will not retain for that long, and it's a little bit pricey. But just be aware of it. Next. Yeah, these are all things you can see later. Next.
So yeah, the slides will be shared with you guys. So don't take a screenshot or think that you're missing something. We will share the slides with you guys.
Similarly for bread, there is a lot of ingredients which are added to bread here. So just be aware of what kind of bread you are having and what it has, because that also I've seen people who got into health problems with the kind of food they are eating. Next. Oh, this is the most important thing because I made the same mistake, and I'm pretty sure everybody, even your seniors, made the same mistake. If you go to a regular store, you would probably not, you will find something called canola oil, corn oil, or vegetable oil, or any of that oil, and you will not see the oil, which is what we use in India, like sunflower oil or sesame oil, like gingerly oil, right? One thing to note is that some of these oils are extremely, extremely bad for your health. Okay, it will be cheap. It will be available in your, Superior or Ralph's or whatever store, but do not get that because those oils are actually not good for eating, even though it's cheap. So the main thing is don't be don't be very stingy on that front, because these oils again have proven to be causing a lot of like stomach problems for students. And then similarly, if you go to any place, even though Chipotle is an exception, any place, there are two options. There's black beans and there is pinto beans. If you're a vegetarian, pinto beans in a lot of places are cooked with with a animal broth, with something called lard, L-A-R-D. So a lot of places, the pinto beans, even though it's beans, because it's cooked with an animal product and a kind of animal fat, it is actually not vegetarian. So if you are, but black beans, they don't cook with it at all. So any place they give you black beans, no problem. If it's pinto beans, ask them if it's cooked with lard or not, because that can help you determine whether it's vegetarian or not, if you are really picky about it. Next. All right. There is one ingredient which is like super common and completely common among all these things. Any guesses what it is? Anyone? On chat? You can type on chat if you want. What is
Is it
common?
sugar?
Sugar, gelatin, okay, salt. So we will think that the common ingredient here is sugar, but what you will find next is that it's actually high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup is added to every freaking thing in this country, including the Coke you drink. So if you get a Coke from Mexico or even India, you would see cane sugar or sugar on it, whereas here they use high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup is addictive. It will fill your stomach very quickly, or I mean, it won't fill your stomach very quickly, and at the same time, it will actually it has affected a lot of people's health because it's not good. So again, look at ingredients if you want to get proper food, because a lot of these things have high fructose corn syrup. In fact, some of the bread which you get in Ralph's would have high fructose corn syrup. So just be aware of it. Next. And another most important aspect of health is mental health. I know we all have gone through this. College life can be stressful, especially now with all this pandemic and staying at home. And I don't know how on-campus job situations are. It can be extremely stressful. But the key thing is that you need to care for each other. And the most important thing being, if you need any help, or if you bump into situations like this, ask for help. Till you come out and ask someone for help, it's another story if somebody could help you or not. But till you actually ask for help, nobody can really help you. Just remember that. And I've seen a lot of students. Again, even if you find it, even if you are hesitant to kind of reach out to your roommates or whoever your peers are, uh, please do reach out to your seniors, or even reach out to your professors, or even me, right? The key thing is that aspect of like mental health stresses and stuff has increased quite a bit in the last few years. So just be aware of it. But your best roommates would be your best support because they are there with you all the time. They can care for you. So find good roommates. And once you ask for, and also like one of the big problems is that it's very difficult to keep yourself engaged, in other than studies. So focus on studies, but at the same time, keep yourself engaged with with AIS, with other organizations on campus, or even volunteer, right? But just be aware that mental health is as important as physical health. Next. And then also remember, both physical and mental health has another side effect, which is called medical costs, which actually increases your stresses even more. Medical costs here is super expensive. Even if you get really good like USC insurance or any other insurance, it's going to cover very, very little. And any MRIs or X-rays or scans can go even to like $1,000 or plus. I've known someone who played football on campus and he broke his leg and his total bill was like around $9,000 or something. So you don't want to deal with that. So just be aware of it that it's going to be, it's expensive. So watch out for yourself. And then, some people end up, feeling a little bit cold, like flu-like symptoms or whatever, and then they start taking like Advil and NyQuil. Again, take it in the recommended doses, but make sure that you don't overdose it because some people do that too. Next. As mentioned, health is very important. Cooking food at home is nothing like that. If you can cook food at home, please do take care of that. And then Subway and Chipotle would be your saviors, especially if you're vegetarians. And then please do, and it's okay to mention these three things, but make sure that you are clear that that something is really vegetarian. These days, in LA, there is a lot more facilities for vegan food. So if you say vegan, and somebody says, okay, here's vegan food, you can be 100% confident it has no animal products. So that's a key. Next.
So we have a question about groceries at Manas.
Yes.
Any
groceries at Manas is good. I'm not sure about the veggies. I've not gone and had the veggie stuff. But since Manas is one of the main grocery stores right next to campus, it actually has a lot of circulation. So it's a good place to buy. Buy your cooking oil, any of the Indian products like paneer, you get yogurt, you get everything there. You can get that. Food at Manas is always a touch and go in that restaurant. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But just be aware, like sometimes the food there feels a bit more heavy or more unhealthy, but they're generally most of the time I've gone there, I've gone for the lunch buffet or something, which is good. So yeah. And then another important thing to keep in mind is identity. You need to, the answer for your question, yogurt does not contain gelatin. Maybe some product might have, but check the ingredients. You should be fine. So with the identity, watch out for scammers. There's a whole set of scamming which can happen, especially now with online, it gets even worse. And also remember that you cannot work outside of campus till your first year. And even after the first year, you need to get the only thing you can do is CPT, which is outside. And there is process for that. So if somebody who does multi-level marketing comes and tells you that, they've done this, they were a student before, they've done this, blah, blah, blah. Just remember that what they were doing is illegal. And if you end up doing it, you get deported right away. If somebody spots it, finds it, and complains about your thing, immediate deportation. Just remember that. Also, when you get get a bank account, I'm pretty sure you would either sign up in the Wells Fargo nearby or Bank of America nearby. They'll initially not give you a credit card. because credit card needs a social security number. And social security number you can get only if you get a job. So the thing is that even if you don't have a social security number, you can ask them for a secure credit card. What it means is that like you put like $500 or $600, in that thing in that card, and it's a credit card, so you can kind of pay it back like as and when you make shopping purchases. Make sure you use that than any of the other cards, because in debit card, if you lose money, you lose it. Credit card, if some scam happens, you can make sure that you can get back your money. Just remember that. Also, something this might look like a simple bullet point, but many people don't remember. Remember your passport number, credit card number, social security numbers. Don't give it to anyone. Okay. Unless it's really required, anybody asks for your SSN or any of these numbers, please don't give it. Sometimes people get calls that they're getting calls from IRS and stuff. Have fun, but don't give them any information, because those calls actually come from Mumbai. So just FYI on that. Next. And then this is the most important identity you need to preserve. Remember that you can change your accent, you can change the way you are dressing up and presenting yourself and do whatever. But if you look at the mirror, you are still Indian. If you do anything good, you might probably get articles about you as your name and identify by your name or where you're in college and stuff like that. But then if you do anything wrong or anything bad, you are kind of it will be termed on as an Indian problem. So just remember that. Next. And then, as I mentioned, multi-level marketing is illegal for students. There are people who come in suits and near rallies and stuff and try to catch new students for their multi-level marketing. Please do not encourage them. Stay away from them. Even if they look a little bit older, even if they are super friendly, they might say they are new to the town, new in town, or they want to ask you if there are any, if you're interested in new opportunities and stuff like that. Sometimes people have even posted this as an internship when you are searching. And so just watch out for it. Like, make sure that you are joining legit companies for your internship. Next. And then, yeah, these I think you guys have added. But in general, if you have any questions on any of these things, you can answer. I can answer whenever, based on your time constraint. So.
Yeah, we have sufficient time. Also, we have a question on the chat. Is paneer
Yes.
and cottage cheese the same thing as per your experience?
It is the same, but again, like it depends on which store you are going in, because the cheese, like the kind of process which is used for the different cheeses are going to be different. So a cottage cheese coming from like Ralph's or something, or Trader Joe's, might not taste as much as our like the paneer from an Indian store. So just be aware of that.
Yeah. What kind of cheese should we look for?
Look for anything which doesn't have remet. There is something called remet, which is again like animal fat. A lot of the mozzarella cheese and other cheese kind of have it. So just watch out for that. Again, just look at the ingredients. If you don't know about an ingredient, search for it in Google. These days, everybody has smartphones. So remet. I think that's the spelling. I'll confirm.
How is Credit Union compared to Chase or Bank of America? Which one did you use when you were student?
I have Bank of America. Like again, like when I came to campus, like there was no other bank other than Bank of America nearby. So yeah. And then is tap water portable here? Yeah, that's a touchy subject. I would say do not drink tap water, especially tap water in LA is super bad. So if you want to drink tap water because you don't want to buy tap water from outside, which also makes sense, get this Brita filter thing. Sometimes it's annoying because it's slow to kind of drain, like give you the drinking water. So maybe get a couple of them. But something to note is that Brita water filter, like that filter has to be replaced every 6 months, or how based on your usage, right? So just don't assume that you get the filter, now you're drinking it, using it for like 5 years, and it's all going to be by that time you can just drink the water from the tap. Tap water contains lead, hopefully not, but we don't know. LA generally gives like LADWP gives a water quality report generally to customers, but again, doesn't come to students and stuff. Generally, again, try to avoid drinking tap water. I've not seen or heard of anyone really fall sick by drinking water from the tap, but I will, again, as a student, you might get away with it because you're extremely young, but over the course of time, you don't want to do that. USC, by the way, USC Credit Union compared to Chase and BOA, USC Credit Union is good for some things, bad for some things. Like for example, if you don't have any activity in your account, probably, I don't know if it applies for the student account, but after that, they charge $1 per month. So if I had like say $100 in my account, like just almost like every month I kind of lose $1 and then eventually goes down, so just be aware of it.
Yes. So when people are making a student account, right, that is not thing, but once we graduate, the account status will change or something like that. So personally, it's a personal preference because Chase and Bank of America has an age limit beyond which they cannot have a student account, right? So we have all the three options. You should just see the best services that people are giving, the bank is giving to you, and go for it. So
watch out for fees. The key thing is that
important.
Bank of America or Chase will have a monthly fee, but for the account, but that gets waived if you have like 1,500 or something in your account.
Correct.
So just be aware of it. Bank of America and Chase actually have a lot more ATMs and stuff outside. So when you go outside, it just makes it easier for you to go around. So yeah, just be aware of that.
Yeah.
And is public transportation free for students? Absolutely not. You should always remember one thing: nothing is free here in the US. Nothing is free. Everything
I think
has a price tag somewhere.
so. During COVID, few of the buses were free, but I think they will go back to normal.
Yeah,
Definitely.
especially LA, like you cannot get anything free.
Capitalist
Anything
country.
USC, anything LA, anything US should not, won't be free generally. Process of paying fees using an education loan from Indian Bank. I'm not sure about it.
I'll take that, Aditya. So I'm not sure if you have seen the video. Later on, I will be talking about a few videos which I have made. Sorry for that. So I think that will cover your question. What about metro train? Is it free? Yash is asking back. Do you remember?
I don't think so. I think the light rail might be free or very, very cheap because a lot of students go from they board the train on exposition and go straight to the beach. But
Correct.
I don't think it's free though. You
So
probably get
currently,
some, yeah.
I think because of COVID, situations were different. We don't know what will happen after they change the rules. So best is to have a tap card and keep some money in it. The tap card works for both buses and for metro. And I think USC also gives some offer for every semester, right? Bat, fall and a spring for some tap card.
I don't know.
Okay, so we did get a mail.
That
I
light rail
remember.
itself was I think came in 2012 or something.
Oh, okay.
So it was, yeah, I've never taken it, so I don't know.
So look out for the mails. If not, you can just take a tap card and keep recharging it whenever you want to travel. It's just like a same metro card that we have in India.
Yeah, the key thing is, again, focus on your education. You've come here to study, or even if you're studying from India, you are here to study. Make sure you are focusing on that. On-campus job, any other activities and stuff, like that's fine if it doesn't impact your studies. The same thing applies to, like, I don't know, students kind of drink and smoke or whatever. Do whatever you want because this is your freedom. It's your personal choice. But just remember that anything affects your education is bad. Just that's the bottom line, right? There is no point in spending all this money, doing a master's at USC and then not doing it well. And also remember that in every course, it is unlike in India, like where, close to the exam, you study something and then it will, you kind of get a grade. A lot of the grades kind of like I've got a B+ in a subject, um, because my cumulative marks was 89 and 90 was the cutoff for A-, and 92 was the cutoff for A, right? So which means like literally 3 marks to like in that subject to get a B+. So think like the average score in that class got a D. So you don't want any of that. You want to make sure that you're consistently perform. It's not about just performance, it's about performance consistently. Again, not all chocolates contain egg, but again, you need to look for the ingredients. Any other general questions? Anyone?
A good chance to ask how to build a resume and get a job refill, maybe. Bad.
I mean, if you're in gaming, I can mentor you. If you're in computer science, I can mentor you a little bit. But
Do you do competitive gamings or
yeah,
just
I do PC and console. In fact,
okay.
I'm working on something which I cannot talk about, but hopefully we'll share with the world very soon. But in the past, I've worked on the Call of Duty games, and I've worked on Transformers and a couple of other things. How much does GPA matter? GPA doesn't. I would not say doesn't matter, but I have known people who got like the most minimum GPA you need to graduate from USC and still got a job. I've known people who've not got that much high GPA and they were struggling to get the new take more courses to help boost their grades so that they can graduate. They also got a job. I've also seen people in the same boat not get a job too. So GPA, I would say matters personally, because a good GPA for a person means that they took their education seriously. Generally, you would rarely find someone getting a good GPA not do well in their job. So with that philosophy, I would say GPA does matter. And if you have a good GPA, then that actually highlights in your resume because you've done really well in your education. Is Unreal Engine worth learning? Yeah, for sure. Unreal is kind of becoming bigger and bigger. In fact, to a point where if you learn Unreal, you may even enter into like the movie industry. You can even enter into architecture. There's like Unreal is going like everywhere at this point. Unity is also worth learning. And if you need any courses recommendation, I actually have a couple of courses which I took in Udemy, so I can actually share some of those links if you want, because those courses should not be that expensive.
Sorry to interrupt that.
Yeah.
Let's take one more question, and towards the end, if we have more time and if you're available, let's continue.
I should be fine. Yeah.
Thank you so much. How do we know which professor is good for a certain subject?
Again, professors, I think there are websites which rate professors and stuff. Sati is awesome. So if you want to take Sati's class, please do take his class. There are a bunch of professors who are really, really good. There are some again, the ratings for the professors kind of like vary here and there. It depends on what you really want. Even with a really difficult professor, you can do really well in their class and even maybe get a TA or RA or even recommendations from them. But just remember that there are professors who are tough. There are professors who are easy. There are professors who teach really well. There are professors who may not teach really well, right? There are professors who will give you decent grades. There are professors like my AI professor who, gave the class average a D, right? So it's on like the professor matters a little bit, but beyond that, it's your effort. It's about how you can make sure that you are doing well, right? So talk to your seniors. You would probably get a better insight from that. So with that, I'll stop here. And then if you have more questions, I'll probably respond on chat. Even otherwise, like after the event is over, I can join.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Bat. And yeah, definitely towards the end, we will have some time left so we can take more questions. But in the interest of time, let's proceed. So definitely be the change that you want. And with that, let me give a brief introduction to what AIS is all about. So we are the Indian organization at USC for the past 26 years. And the main aim is to help all the incoming grad students from India to adjust to this place, right? The culture shock might be a bit overwhelming for a few people. So we try to help as much as we can. So definitely we are your home away from home. Many events are planned in, if campus opens, finger crossed, it should be. So we definitely celebrate Indian culture, all the festivals, and we also try to have some alumni to help us out and take some sessions. So that's it. So again, a kind request to check out our social media handles, and towards the next few slides, we will give an option to even join the committee and do take a part of it. So we also have something called as mentorship program, where a AIS member will be your mentor. And Ashish, if you can share the link on the chat where people can register for the mentorship program if they want. So the link will again be shared towards the end of the session in the common email. But if you want, you can just save the link right now. Ashish, yeah. So the form link is on the chat. If you want to have a mentor from AIS team, so you can definitely fill out this. Okay, so the few events which happened in fall before COVID hit. So we had orientation, Independence Day, social mixture, environment fair, Garba dance, Diwali parties, and towards the end, when unfortunately COVID happened, we had quarantine cooking sessions as well. A few pictures that we have collected from those events, I'll just show you to you in the next slides. In the spring, we did again orientation for my batch. I am a spring admit. Virtual Holi celebration on Zoom, unfortunately, but yeah, DPS food night and Bollywood night was few things which we planned if campus would have opened, but we couldn't do it in the previous spring. So we are planning to have it again the upcoming spring. Independence Day celebration when campus was open. So this is a few pictures from that. Social mixtures, Garba dance, Dandiya celebration. Even so, these are the fun part, but we also have something with the career related workshops, immigration sessions, Diwali celebration. So if you know, I mean, how many fans of Akash Gupta were here, please raise a hand. And if you have seen his latest bit of Brother of Diwali, so this was the place where he did perform the same bit for us. It was, I think, Diwali, if I'm not wrong, Diwali celebration. So again, if you have some ideas for upcoming Diwali, do let us know whom we can bring for this Diwali. Then we had quarantine cooking. It was a virtual event and completely driven by the social media team on the Instagram channel. So please do follow us over there. Then we have chat over chat with the DPS officers. Then, yeah, this is something which I also missed. So Holi celebration before COVID was a grand celebration, but let's hope next Holi we have on campus and we do celebrate it back again together. A few important things, what is happening on campus. These are the few things which you should definitely check every day. Like you check Facebook and Instagram. So my USC is one portal and my Viterbi calendar is the second portal. Then apart from studies, we have various organizations. AIS is one of them. Then we have HSO, VGSA, and many more. So if you feel inclined to join any of them, just reach out to any members over there and they will tell you how to join them. Then for sports, we have many teams like Bat just mentioned about the cricket team. I know we also have a chess team, which do not regularly often, but we do organize some events. And for research, you can volunteer at labs with professors. Definitely. It is a great add on your resume as well. Now, something about on-campus job. I know most of you guys would be wanting an on-campus job. I wanted one when I came here. So it's demand and supply rule, as simple as that. Earlier you apply and the right time and the right place, you will get one, definitely. So it might take a month or two, but most of us do get an on-campus job, something or the other, definitely. And once the campus is opening up, you have more chances of getting an on-campus job. So we have jobs at department, grader position, ISI, ICT. And one thing which definitely works the best is referrals. So if somebody is working at ICT and he knows that a position is about to open, he can refer you. Okay. And how do you find referrals? You talk to your seniors or you go to parties and you just have a conversation and build your own network. So I'll take a moment over here and do one second. I'm just sharing a few videos. I'm pretty sure many of you guys have already watched it. Strange, I'm not able to open my Chrome again. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so I hope you all can see my screen. No. Sorry for that. Yep. So this is our team before we proceed. So this is our website. This is our entire team. You can go and check them out. And if you want to connect with them, you can ping us on LinkedIn or Instagram. Apart from that, I am pretty sure you might be knowing, most of you might be knowing about my channel. I make videos about what I have done so far in USC, like how to pay your fees. Somebody was asking in the channel, how do you pay your fees? What are the most common apps that I have been using? How do I hide this? Yeah. 1 second. Yeah. So most common apps, if you don't have time to go to the entire 20 minutes of video, you can just scroll down and get the entire list. Apart from that, one thing which I personally feel everybody should check it out is how to find the on-campus job. I have personally done this entire spring. Each and every step I have shown what I have done, which portal to visit. So this is something which will definitely help most of you guys. But yeah, trust me, this is not the only way. There are many other ways, but at least I personally feel this is a must do. So do check this out. And one of the on-campus job which I had as a graduate student ambassador. So Jessica, she was my manager. So this is a conversation with her. If you are interested in this kind of role, just check out this video, what this role is all about, and you can directly approach her if you are interested in this role as well. So I believe Ashish will be sharing the channel link. So Ashish will be sharing the links in the chat. If not, let me do it. And if you have subscribed already, thank you so much. If you have not subscribed, please do subscribe because it does take a good amount of effort. Yep. Coming back to DPA. Okay. Then we have different internship and full-time opportunities offers. I believe you all have registered for the course by now, so you will have access to Connect SC. In September, we have a career fair that is coming up. Please do register for that, for the fall career fair. Apart from that, we have Viterbi Expo app. Please do take it. Trojan Talks are something which is very valuable. Companies do come and they share their insights. And if they have any openings, you can have a networking session with them directly. So it is something which I would highly recommend people joining. Then we have career advisor sessions. They are very good. Even I would say my experience last Friday, I went with my resume to them. They gave me small insights. With that, my VMOC score just boosted up by 15 points. So definitely do check them out. ISI, ICTs, they are great research opportunities places. ISI has their own website where you have all the openings and listings available. Again, check that video. You have all the links and steps how to apply, explained in detail. Then last and not the least, Connect SC is your go-to friend. Keep checking Connect SC every alternate day, I would say. My personal thing, which I did in spring, is every Monday I used to go to Connect SC and apply for all the possible on-campus jobs which I could. So do that. It will really help. Then, yeah. Ashish, do we have DPS officers available?
Yeah, we do have them.
So let me quickly. Again, if we have any more questions, do let me know. And towards the end, we will definitely take them up. Ashish? 1 second. Let me share my screen again. Sorry about this technical difficulties. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Carreño Diaz, and I am with USC's Department of Public Safety. So I'll be telling you all about our department, what we do, how you can contact us. I appreciate you letting all of your constituents know about the many things that we do throughout the year and a lot of the events that we collaborate in. We have been doing everything online the last year and a half now, so I'm excited about finally getting back to campus and participating in all of those events. So here on the slide, you see our chief, Chief John Thomas. Unfortunately, he could not make it today, but you will definitely be seeing him at a lot of our events, our dinner nights, the Diwali events, all of which we always love to be a part of. Next slide, please. So a little bit about our department. We are the Department of Public Safety, and we are assigned specifically to the USC campus and the surrounding areas. But we do function very similar to an average police department or a municipal police department. You are going to see that we have two different types of officers. So what you're seeing in the photographs now are what we call our PSOs, our public safety officers. You see that they're wearing dark blue tops and dark blue bottoms. They also have a patch near their shoulder that indicates that they are Department of Public Safety officers and not LAPD officers. They are academy trained, so they do attend a 6-month police academy, and they do have weapons. Like any other police department, we do work 24/7, 365. That means that every minute of every day, no matter what, we are always fully staffed with officers. Next slide, please. And this is our second classification of officers. These are our community service officers. So you see that they're wearing the lighter blue shirts and the dark blue bottoms. They do not go to a police academy. They function more in security guard-like functions. So you will see them handling calls for service, like if you forgot the key to your dorm room, doing escorts on the campus, doing foot patrol checks on the campus. Altogether, we're a little bit over 300 officers for the USC area alone. So that's a pretty significant number for a campus agency. Next slide, please. And we do have 3 different stations. We have one located, it's the Downey Way parking structure. It's the furthest west on the campus. So for those of you that are familiar with Viterbi and Olin Hall, this is the parking structure located just across the street from Olin Hall. We are also open 24/7, 365 at the station. We have a substation over at the University Village. So if you've been on the campus already, I'm sure you've been to the Target and the Trader Joe's. Our substation is located in the same building, but just on the other side. So think of behind Trader Joe's and behind Target. We also have another station at our health science campus, but I anticipate most of you will not be going to that side of town. So I'll skip that for now. Next slide, please. So what types of services do we provide? Again, we function very similar to a police department. So we are patrolling and answering calls for service every minute of every day. We respond to both emergency and non-emergency calls. So emergency, say a robbery, an act of violence, things of that sort. But most typically we respond to non-emergency calls for service. So again, a door opening, an escort, things of that sort. What a lot of people don't know is we are fully staffed with detectives as well. So after we receive the call and after we've responded to the call, filed a report, made an arrest if necessary, We also have detectives that follow up on the investigation. We do crime prevention education like I'm doing right now. So you'll see my specific unit. We do things like coffee with the cops, the dinner nights, anything and everything that will provide us with the opportunity to engage our constituents in a positive manner. We also monitor the blue light phones. So once you're around campus, you're going to see that we have, and I think we have a photograph coming up. It's a phone, and we call it the blue light phone because it has a blue light right above it. If you've been in any elevator, you've seen that little button that has a little phone icon. Our blue light phones work very similar to that. So each of those phones are registered. So at the push of that button, you don't even have to know our phone number. You just push that button. We know exactly where you are. That being said, if you ever push that button by accident, please stay behind long enough for our dispatchers to answer. Accidents do happen. You will not be in trouble, but please let us know it was an accident. I don't need help. When we get one of those calls, if no one answers on the other side, we automatically assume that it's a medical emergency and it does become a priority call. So again, if it's an accident, no trouble at all. Just let us know so that we direct our resources the right way. We register bicycles. We have free bicycle registration. We're going to be doing bicycle registration campaigns all week. We do ask that you do that. One, it is campus policy. Two, there are over 15,000 bicycles on campus on any given day, and there are nowhere near as many bicycle racks. So that means that one day your bicycle will be moved from where you put it. And if it ends up in our hands, we want to be able to call the owner and return it to you. And the only way we can do that is if your bicycle is registered. Once you pick up your USC ID, you'll know that that card gives you access to wherever you need to be on campus. So if you happen to lose it over the weekend, DPS can provide an emergency replacement. We issue crime alerts. All of you should already be enrolled in Trojans Alert via your USC email. But if you're interested in receiving the alerts via text message, please go to our website, dps.usc.edu. Search for Trojans Alert, and you can sign up for the free service. We also offer free self-defense classes. At the moment, because of COVID protocols, we are not offering them. They are very hands-on, but when they become available again, we will make sure to post it on all of our social media sites so that anyone who's interested can go ahead and sign up. Next slide, please. This is what the self-defense course looks like. It is a 12-hour course to receive your certificate. Again, it is 100% free, but because it is very hands-on, we are pausing all registration at the moment. Next slide. These are our areas of responsibility. So on the left, that is the University Park campus. That is where I presume the majority of you, if not all of you, will be living and attending class. So if you take a good look at the middle, you'll see that there's two small spots with what looks like a golden border around it. The bigger one is the main campus. The smaller one is the University Village. So that is the USC owned property. Those are the campuses per se. Anything around it before we hit those burgundy borders, that is where DPS patrols. Next slide, please. We do have a partnership with LAPD, so you will see them on the campus on occasion. You'll also see them patrolling in and around the area. They drive a black and white vehicle. Next slide, please. And we have our security ambassadors. Most people have come to know them as Yellow Jackets, so now we refer to them as such as well. They are not DPS officers, but we do contract with them. We have over 40 of them overnight in the community, and we also use them to lock our campus overnight. So we'll go over that in just a bit. Next slide, please. We also have a lot of cameras. So on the left, you see two giant screens. Each one of those squares is one of the cameras. We have over 400 security cameras, and they are actively monitored by a minimum of 8 people at any given moment. On the right is what they look like when you're walking around in the community. Next slide, please. We have our residence hall security. I anticipate most of you will not be living in campus dorms, but if you do, or if you're visiting, this is what you can expect to see at the front. They let people in based on the card swipe. So again, your USC card access, fingerprint recognition, or if you're a registered guest. Next slide. Again, campus perimeter. So the main campus, the bigger yellow border that we saw earlier, that is closed overnight. The reason being is most of the things on campus are closed to overnight. But from the hours of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., if you are a student, staff, faculty with USC ID or a registered guest, you may come on the campus, but you must show your ID to the Yellow Jackets in order to come in. The USC Village is very similar, but we do close 1 hour later because we do have grocery stores that need to be accessible. Next slide. Theft prevention. So quite often we get asked, what is the most common type of crime? And thankfully, it is not violent crime. It's actually crimes of opportunities. So we are flattered that our students feel very, very safe on the campus, so much so that they tend to leave their valuables behind. An example is, you know, I study at the library. It took me a really long time to find a good desk, and now I want a cup of coffee. So I'm going to reserve my spot with my $1,500 laptop, run downstairs, get a cup of coffee, and come back, and sure enough, my laptop is gone. So one of the things that we always like to tell people is lock it, hide it, keep it, meaning keep your valuables within reach, within sight at all times. Next slide, please. Scams. Scams are also a big issue, not just for USC. In general, scams are on the rise. I get scam calls all of the time. People will call you pretending to be from the IRS, pretending to be ICE, pretending to be police officers, pretending to have a package that somehow is traced to you and is linked to criminal activity. So I wish I had more time to go into scams. Unfortunately, I don't. But one of the things that I want you to remember with scams is they will always try and lure you in with fear. So they will try and cause fear. They will say that your student visa is about to expire, or that you haven't paid your taxes, or that you're going to be arrested. They ask for payment, and they're always in a rush. So those three things, remember, if you're getting the sense that they're trying to cause fear, they're asking you for payment, and they're trying to do it in a timely manner, it is very likely a scam. One thing that you need to remember is there is no federal agency, government agency, or police agency that will call you or email you asking you for any form of payment. They will never ask you for payment over credit card. They will never ask you for payment over a gift card. They will never ask you for payment via a wire transfer. These scams have become very, very sophisticated. Oftentimes the caller ID will actually say LAPD or IRS or 911. But again, it's a scam. So my goal is that one day none of our students will be scammed. Unfortunately, that is not the case. In 2019, we exceeded the $1 million mark in just the first 8 months of the year. And that was just what was reported to us. So if you remember nothing else from this presentation, please, please, please remember the scams. Next slide. Again, bicycle registration, it is free and it is required. We will be on campus registering bicycles. I do know we're going to be doing some events with Viterbi this coming week as well. So I'll make sure to have all of our equipment prepared to register bicycles as well. Next slide. This is what our emergency blue light phones look like. Again, you do see that little blue light up top. It doesn't very much look like a phone, but if you pay attention to that little metal area right in the middle, you'll see that there's a single button, and that is how you can communicate with us. Next slide. Buoyant language. So a lot of our constituents actually don't know, and that's partially our fault. We don't market this as much as we should, but there's a lot of people that aren't comfortable calling our dispatch center because English may be their second language and they may struggle with that. So we do contract with a language bank. So that means if you call our dispatch center and can't communicate with them, we must contact our language bank. That language bank has several different languages. So once they determine what's the language that you speak, they automatically connect us with an interpreter and we can continue to handle the call. So again, please remember, if for whatever reason you aren't comfortable communicating in English, we do have a resource for you to be able to get your message across. Next slide. Our Trojan Mobile Safety app. So this is a way that you can contact us without even having to have our phone number. I do encourage you to always have our phone number regardless. But through this app, you'll see the presets. You can report tips. You can you can use an emergency option. You can use the safety map. It's just a way for you to communicate with us quickly. It goes to the same place that all of our phone calls go to. But through here, you can choose to remain anonymous. So if you just want to send us a tip saying, hey, I'm trying to study, they're having a party next door, it's too loud, can someone please come and ask them to turn it down? Things of that sort, you can do all of that via the app. Or if you just, you're witnessing a crime and you want to be discreet, you can send us a text message. Or if you happen to witness a crime and you have a picture of a potential suspect, you can also send us that through the application. So that is LiveSafe, one word. And when you register, please be sure to register to the University of Southern California. There are a number of universities using this now. So you want to make sure that you're registered to the correct one. Next slide. Trojans alert. So you will receive a Trojan alert anytime that something happens and we feel that there's an imminent danger to our constituents at that moment. For example, sometimes there's a gas leak in center campus and we want to make sure that you stay away. So we'll send you an email or a text message if you decide to do this by text message, letting you know, stay away from the area. Next slide. Lyft. So we still have Campus Cruiser. It will not be running this semester again because of COVID, but we do have a free Lyft service. We'll go over the hours in just a bit. They operate within the DPS patrol area. So that map that we saw earlier, that is the patrol area. And that is where Lyft operates for free within certain hours. You can also go to the USC Transportation website to be able to take a better look at that map. In order to activate the Lyft service, you must use the invitation that you will receive via email from Transportation. If you haven't received it by next week, contact Transportation and have them send you the email. Next slide. So effective August 16th, meaning tomorrow, Lyft Safe Rides will resume their operation at the University Park campus, which again is where I think most of you will be attending. It operates daily from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. Next slide. So these are the best way to reach us outside of LiveSafe. Again, most of you will likely be at the University Park campus. So please take a moment to jot down our emergency and our non-emergency numbers. I also really encourage you guys to please download the LiveSafe application. And that will conclude my presentation, but I am happy to stay on if any of you have any questions, comments, concerns.
Thank you so much. Definitely, guys, if you have any questions regarding safety, Lyft, or anything else, this is a perfect time.
Yes, please. I know it's early. A lot of you are probably jet lagged too, so I understand, but safety is key. So I'm here and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. And I have to say, you guys are the first student org to invite me to a safety presentation on a beautiful Sunday morning. So I know you guys are serious about safety. Can we use e-scooters like Lime with just California state ID? You know what, that would be a question for Lime directly. I'm sure you can find that on their website. We do not, I mean, you'll probably see it, but technically you're not supposed to use motorized vehicles, including motorized scooters on campus. Also, if you do purchase your own, we do have a lot of students that purchase their own. I advise you just be very careful that there isn't any that are available for purchase that have a secure locking mechanism, and those are stolen quite often. So just an FYI. Any other questions? You're welcome. And we have that last slide that says be safe, make smart choices, and that really means just be aware this is an urban area, just like any other major city. So we ask that you utilize our Lyft resource, utilize the resources available through USC, and just really consider the basic things, right? In no urban area should anyone walk home alone at night. You have resources so that you don't have to walk home at night. So just, again, be very mindful of the choices that you make. Make sure that you keep your valuables within reach. Try and have your valuables, in your pocket, in your backpack as you're walking. So just, use common sense and make smart choices. I am not able to use Lyft. It is asking for ID during booking. No one at Lyft has been able to help me with that. It won't be Lyft. It's going to be USC Transportation. If you have not received your invitation email by tomorrow, please contact Transportation. So just Google USC Transportation. It'll take you to their website and it'll let you know who you should email for your invitation. Any suggestions, best locks to secure important documents? Any suggestions to keep our data secured in our laptop using public Wi-Fi? Ooh, that would be an IT question. I barely know how to use Zoom, so I apologize for that. I'm sure that if you look up USC IT, they are going to have safety tips for you as well. Best locks to secure. There are going to be locks at Levy Library, actually laptop locks that you can secure your laptop to the desk while you're there. How safe is it to keep our bicycles at the campus or around campus in general? With a bicycle lock, of course. Would it be wise to invest in a really good bicycle? I wouldn't recommend investing in a really good bicycle, only because, again, there's 15,000 bicycles on the campus at any given moment. I would say the same about a car, to be honest with you. Just something that gets you from point A to point B should suffice. Definitely use the bike lock. And I know this will sound like a little bit of, overkill, but if you can use the bike lock and to the front and back tires, that would be amazing. I wasn't asked any ID when I used Lyft. Again, that's going to be a Transportation. I have the link, but not able to do it. Reach out to Transportation. If they receive enough emails, they're probably going to send another FYI to the university. People find ways to bypass security of bicycles. Yes, that's why I said if you can lock both tires, that would be great. Because we have people that they don't steal one bicycle, but they'll steal the frame and the front tire from me, and then they'll steal the back tire from Ashish, and then they'll put it together and they'll have a bicycle. So again, the harder that you make it for them to steal your bicycle, the better. Are the areas come under free Lyft and zone safe? So those areas are the areas where we will have DPS patrolling, we will have yellow jackets, we will have the cameras, and we have LAPD. That being said, things, it's still a major city, it's still an urban area. Things can happen. So we just ask that in addition to all the steps that we've taken, that you also take steps. And again, don't walk home alone at night. Don't walk around with your cell phone in hand. Just be mindful of your surroundings and reach out to us if you need it. Any other questions? No, I am going to go ahead and leave my email in case any of you can think of any other questions later, because I know that you guys still have a lot to get through in your presentation. So I've left my email. Thank you guys so much for having me. Again, it's a beautiful Sunday morning, so I'm sure that you guys have other things to do, but I appreciate you guys taking some time to learn about safety. And I am here if you guys need me. Thank you guys.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Happy Independence Day to all of you. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our esteemed guests and all the students for accepting our invitation and taking out time from that busy schedule on a Sunday morning. I personally, as well as on behalf of AIS, would like to thank Dean Yanis and Dean Varun Soni for the heartfelt message and awakening the glory of our history and struggle for independence. Professor Sati for the valuable advice, which was motivating and helpful. Advisor Yadi for sharing with us the helpful information in our academic pursuit. Our AIS advisor, Bat, for his insight on how to go about our student life. We appreciate all the help we received from you. Elizabeth from the DPS for all the helpful and valuable information, and also Professor Raghavendra for having joined us today. I would also like to thank our AIS team for their time and work behind the scenes for making this event possible. Ayush for hosting this interactive session, and our other board members, Anurag, Ashish, and Priya, our president and deputy presidents. Hardik from our alumni relation team, publicity and creativity team, Teeth, Vivek, Reshmai from our finance team, Karishma and Devans from our technology team. Thank you so much, guys. It wouldn't have been possible without you guys. And last but not the least, our audience. Thank you for joining us today. Hope this session today was informative and helpful for you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that's it from us. So have a good day. And many people did ping me how they can join AIS. So we'll be having one more session for that. You might have got a form earlier in which you might have mentioned yes or a no. So based on that, we will reach out to you guys. That's it from my side. Ashish, any words? And if not,
thank you to everyone who has been part of the team today, as well as all the viewers. Thank you so much, everyone.